The following podcast has been brought to you by Audible.com. Sign up now using the URL audibletrial.com/TTV to get a free audiobook of your choosing. We recommend Brick by Brick, How LEGO Rewrote the Rules of Innovation and Conquered the Global Toy Industry. You may recognize this as one of the sources we use in our show, Bionicle Autopsy. Remember, that's audibletrial.com/TTV. Enjoy the show. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, sync.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the TTV Podcast, episode 148.
Mardi Gras.
Yeah, I knew it. I knew you were
Nice.
going to wait till the end.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I waited. That's what you requested. And I also didn't scream it. I'm learning.
If Finn was here, he wouldn't have listened
It's
to
like
that.
it's still obnoxious, but it's not as obnoxious.
It's the kind of obnoxious where there's like a fly buzzing around you.
It's like-
no, if there's a fly buzzing around me, I will kill that.
It's like being stabbed in the foot with a knife as opposed to
Trying
a
to think of a
sword.
word.
You guys are reminding me of childhood traumatizing moments that I had as a kid where I had like a slice of pizza and then like I went to go to the bathroom, came back and it was just coated in gnats.
I remember one time
I don't know where they came from. It was just there. It's like, I wanted to eat that pizza, you jerks!
That makes me think
There
of
was
a horrifying moment where I left my lights on in the middle of the countryside and I woke up and my room was crawling. Literally. There were so many bugs everywhere.
in my skin!
The
No
walls
copyrighted
were
music.
coated in
These
bugs and it
words, they
freaked me out.
will not heal.
I wish I
Silence
knew what
yourself.
Viper was saying.
There is higher. Yeah, screw what
The
Viper
bugs
saying.
creeped her out.
You know,
Which-
you could have
Basically,
even
I
gone
left
with
the window open and the light on all night in the countryside. I woke up and the walls and ceiling were crawling with bugs.
In the countryside. Wrong. No, it's like, I don't really have any traumatizing.
Sorry, guys. Var, most obnoxious host ever.
Yeah,
you would be my least favorite if it wasn't for Bionicle
It's a close race
Autopsy.
between you and Meso.
Yeah, because
I
that
don't get-
totally explains why you and Messa were second and first on that poll.
You'd be
Ah,
least if
yeah,
it wasn't
I'm
for
not winning.
Bionicle
Third-
Autopsy.
they
Third time in a
thought
row.
they were voting people off the island.
Ouch, Meso. Ouch. That hurt.
I'm just echoing the sentiment of a fan.
That was mean. That was really mean, dude.
Yes, it was.
I didn't even catch what he said.
He said I would be least if it wasn't for Bionicle Autopsy.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa!
Which is, yeah. I'm just quoting
Yeah.
one dude in the
That's an
topic.
What the heck, dude?
Cool.
What did I ever do? Well, I mean, I know what I did, but what did I ever do?
I was gonna say, Var, you do like everything. This
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
It is.
I'm the
So-
most abusive boss ever.
Yeah, you are.
I would do more.
What was that
So anyway,
supposed
let's
to mean?
introduce ourselves, guys. I'm Messanek.
I'm Barteran.
I'm LJ.
I'm Viper.
I'm Takuma Nuva.
And once again, this is TTV 148.
Mardi Gras!
Let's do this thing.
Ha, you didn't. You never said I had to wait till the second time you said it.
No, I did not.
2 steps forward, 3 steps back.
So before we get into Bionicle news, of which we have plenty to
Yeah!
talk about today, how's everybody's week been? Anything been going on?
It's been pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots
It's
been
actually
going on.
been really, really busy behind the scenes at TTV.
Yeah.
We
It's
always say that, but it's like this week it really
No,
has.
yeah, this week has been ridiculously busy. I don't think we've ever, or I have ever at least, spent so many hours at a time not leaving my desk trying to do stuff for TTV.
It's like the
Yeah,
boy who
we're just
cried
like getting a
wolf.
bunch of stuff stockpile.
Like, okay, my days for the past week has been, I would get up at around 12 lunchtime, go get some, go. Yeah, I know. I sleep in. It sucks because I'm up all night. I don't like sleeping in, but anyway, I get up at 12, go to the kitchen, grab a cup of coffee, sit down at my desk to start working on TTV. I have to edit a video, or I got to do something for Vessel behind the scenes. By the time I'm done, it is 3 a.m. I go to bed. I wake up, get a cup of coffee, start editing TTV again.
Eat, sleep, work, repeat. Eat, sleep, work, repeat.
Yeah, that is how it's been the entire past week. It has sucked.
Yep. But thankfully,
You're
it's
welcome,
like
fans.
This is like a one-time push we have to do, and then we can just settle into consistent, regular work
Right.
after
Yeah.
this.
There's been a lot of work regarding Vessel. I know a lot of people were confused in regards to Vessel and like the status of it currently. For the record, in case you're still wondering, we will make an announcement when Vessel is fully up and ready to start viewing. So if you're wondering when that's going up, or if you're asking like, is it already up? Don't worry, you will know. We'll make an announcement. As far as how long it's going to take to get Vessel up, for the past week it's been out of our hands because we've been talking back and forth with the people at Vessel. Vessel works a lot differently than YouTube, where you don't just kind of sign up for the site and start uploading videos. You have to actually like talk.
There's a process.
Yeah, there's actually a process to having your content on the website. We had to have phone calls with the creative team. I was in a group conference call, so there's been a lot of back and forth regarding emails and stuff and getting things set up, and a lot of assets had to be created and transferred over. And just yesterday we had to transfer over all 710 videos from our YouTube channel to our Vessel account, so obviously this is taking a while. So yeah, no, it's an ongoing thing. It should be done soon, though. We finally have access to the channel itself now. We've been allowed access to it to start adding our artwork and everything, so it should be done soon.
Yeah. With any luck, you may see it by the time this is up, but no promises.
Meso, car, come on, man.
Not my fault.
It's like
Someone
someone
put a
like
road
purposely
in my
drives
way.
past Meso's house when he hears him talking.
And can you imagine if there was a TTV drinking game?
Take a shot whenever Meso has a car in his background audio.
Or whatever.
Take a
someone
shot
yells
anytime
at
I
me.
get fired.
Car in the background. Every time I quit.
Every time Var says Mardi Gras.
Every time
Every time
fires
LJ gets
someone.
fired.
I already said Vars.
Every
Oh,
time,
I'm
every
sorry.
time someone's audio volume raises a certain threshold when they scream.
Every time someone cuts someone else
Then
off.
we'd all
Every
be
time we
dead.
get into an argument.
Yeah.
Arguments have been a thing recently in our
Yeah,
past
we're about to have
episodes.
another one soon in a few minutes here.
We
I'm ready.
probably will. Oh yeah, no, I've noticed that. Like a lot of people have been commenting about it too. It's like, man, you guys are fighting a lot, and it's so true.
Yeah, this is
I don't know.
this is actually the end
wait.
times.
Fighting is not the right word to use. Debating.
Well, you see, technically it is fighting because of the way we present it. Like, we're not actually fighting. We're not actually butting heads the way it seems on the podcast. We're just joking around.
I would sooner compare it to quarreling.
Bickering.
I hear
No,
the
but-
word fighting. I'm thinking about like throwing punches.
But we are like that's what we
Which
we
we're
do
not
though.
really physically capable of
they're
doing
throwing
right now.
punches.
No, we're like
in verbal
we're throwing
form.
verbal. Exactly, we're throwing verbal punches. Like I've insulted Meso and all kinds of stuff. So, like, obviously it's just jokes and stuff, but it's just like the way we present it. It's kind of
And
funny.
hey, Takuma, speak for yourself, man, but I am perfectly physically capable of throwing a punch.
Takuma versus LJ
I'm
1v1.
I'm just imagining
Convention
this
meetup.
like a brainiac test of LJ punching like a bit of cardboard, and it goes in slow motion. You just see his arm, just like his bone in his arm pop out of his arm. It's like
I try and snap a toothpick and my fingers break.
yeah, you're like
Nice.
literally he looks like by the end of the punch, his foot. I mean, not his foot.
My foot,
His hand.
the foot at the end of my arm.
His hand looks
fist?
like an elephant's foot because it's like so squished down into like a flat.
Listen, don't mess
Nice.
with me. I've broken teeth before. I've broken other people's teeth before.
Wow, you guys are hardcore.
How'd that go?
Caused
Tell
them
us
to
some
break other
stories.
people. I've caused other people to break their own teeth.
Hypothetically, I broke my younger brother's foot because I caused him to kick a railroad tie.
I remember one time in middle school.
Is intelligence like a very high-valued commodity over there that only the very rich can afford? Or is this just a straight-up shortage?
Would you believe me if I told you it skips a generation?
There's no such thing as skipping a generation. We went through this in my psychology class.
Want to bet? No. I can
this-
Yeah,
I
will
can
bet
skip
for
over,
every
like,
penny
children.
you don't have.
Okay, anyway.
Alright.
I just want to point out the fact that like I've got with all the work we've been doing today alone I have got around 8 videos I have to edit or help edit at least today.
Oh, fun. And then
Yeah.
the top 10 rush on tomorrow.
No,
which
yeah,
is like
today.
Sunday.
Like they have to be done today. 8 videos. We've got
Yeah.
2 TTV talks that need to be done. 2 Lego Worlds audio things that I have to finish. The podcast two top 10s, and then what else was there?
Product showcase?
2 product showcases that I need to finish all today.
That's how it
Ouch.
work.
We better wrap this quick.
Yeah, I've got my hands full.
You know what?
Yep.
I'm going to aspire to do the same thing. Var, if there's anything I can help with, let me know.
Okay, you can take the top 10s. I don't want to do that.
All right, give them. Let's go.
You know, as simple as the top 10 videos are, they take a godforsaken amount of time to actually finish. I don't know why it is, because they shouldn't. They're like slideshows. Versus like all of our other videos that actually have more to it, those suck. Also, product showcase takes a long time too. It's like the shorter the video is, the longer it takes to edit, because there's so much things we have to like actually cut and do in that short time frame. Like if we have like a long video, like a podcast, we can let things, draw out. We can let things drag on if we want to. We don't have to actually go in and snip every little thing.
Yeah.
Because, you know what you're getting into when you're watching a long video. But for short videos, oh my god, so much work.
Yeah. Very, very true.
Yeah, product showcase takes like triple the amount of time it takes to do the TTV podcast, and TTV podcast is way longer. It's like an hour versus 2 minutes.
You're not wrong.
So it's insane.
Yeah, but I think you guys will enjoy this. The purpose behind this workload is to while we're starting up Vessel, we don't want there to be like a drought on the channel.
Right.
So we're getting stuff stockpiled. So I think it will end up being a good thing.
There's
Yes.
quite honestly, after we get over this hump, there's no downside. Constant content for everyone.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to work towards, having a video out every day from now on. The thing that we've been definitely trying to avoid is, I'm sure if you've been a subscriber to us for a while, you know that we've had our off seasons. Like usually it's in between like midterms or finals for school sessions, but we'll have videos out every single day, and then like a month or two we'll take a break, and it'll be like 2 videos a week or 3 videos a week, and it's not as good as it used to be. So you want to avoid things like that. So it's going to be weekly or daily
As it
uploads.
stands, we have too many series and not enough days to do them, which is a good thing because not everything will last forever.
Right. So
So
It's
things
almost like
swap
we
in.
need not more cast members, but just a crew for doing post.
We do. That's
We
kind
do.
of a
We
thing.
honestly, yeah, no, we do need people that could just like edit, and that would be all their job is.
Yeah.
But
and we may do something like that in the future. Who knows?
Maybe. But no, yeah. So as far as like our shows go, we are basically going to be having seasons now, like an actual like TV show sort of. So things will have off seasons. They'll be on the channel at certain periods of time, and then we'll take that off the channel to replace with something else later down the line.
Very
so like
I
similar.
like this idea.
Very similar to how the recaps currently operate, but I'm
That-
pretty sure
yeah.
in shorter intervals.
that's exactly what I was going for. The recaps is the biggest example of this for right now. LJ, you're going to be doing all of 2007, and then when 2007 is up, we're going to be pulling recaps off the channel and then replacing it with another show, likely going to be the RPG or something. I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't think we're going to be releasing the RPG this season.
Yeah.
The RPG will be a while yet, just because, well, first we need to actually sit down and do it,
Right.
and then, I mean, a single session is going to be, who knows, anywhere from 1 to 3 hours, and how we break that up, I don't know yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll kind of depend on how the game flows, where we want to split it. So
Yes.
right.
So that is a plan we're planning on initiating as far as our videos are concerned. So
Yeah. But then after that, short interval, things come back in rotation.
right. Now it also changes depending on the series too. Like the podcast isn't going to be going anywhere. We'll still be doing the podcast weekly for basically the entirety of the channel.
Yeah. Same
Yeah.
as TTV Talks.
Only
Oh.
difference is it's going to be available on Vessel.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was about to say. Speaking of the podcast, this is really important in case you missed last week's episode or you're just tuning into the Vessel thing. If you still want to watch the podcast up to date, you have to watch it on Vessel. The
For
podcast,
free, but on Vessel.
Yeah, the podcast is going to be uploaded to Vessel first from now on. It's going to be up on Vessel for a week before it's on YouTube. So if the podcast is important to you and you want to watch the podcast, you have to go to our Vessel channel to see it on time. It will obviously always be releasing on Monday. So it'll be released on Vessel Monday, and then the following week it'll be released on YouTube that Monday. But there's going to be a week in between. So if you're subscribed to us on YouTube and you want to keep up to date with the podcast, go on Vessel.
And it's
now,
important to stress once again, it's not behind the podcast is not behind the paywall.
Yeah, you don't have to pay for it. It's just going to be on Vessel first.
And
so
we understand people are going to have to get used to this, so we'll be like making a separate standalone video. We'll be posting about it on the boards, to post about it on Twitter, and spread the word to our fan base in like the comments if people are wondering stuff. We need to try to get the massive push to go watch the podcast on Vessel.
Yeah, and I'll make sure to set a reminder whenever we start a new podcast just to say, like, hey, guys, if you're on YouTube, you were probably a week delayed.
Yep.
So,
and we can also, like, do ad runs for Vessel and let people know instead of Audible sometimes.
Yeah.
If you want to know basically all the news with us, I would recommend you go follow us on @the3virtues, which we don't talk about enough, and or just go on the TTV message boards. You can find everything you need there, pretty much.
Mm-hmm. Obviously, if you're watching the podcast just to hear us fight or something, or not really discuss news, then
it doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter that it's current.
Yeah, it won't really matter to you.
Just that it's there.
Just that it's there, yeah. So, because it will be on YouTube, it's just going to be a week delayed, and that's going to be important if you care about news. Because, like, for example, recently we did an episode regarding LEGO Worlds where we were talking about a leak of LEGO Worlds. And ironically, the day after we recorded that, LEGO Worlds got released. So when we actually had that episode up on YouTube, it kind of felt dated because we were talking about information.
Even though it was only 2 days.
Yeah, it was only 2 days, but we were talking about information as if LEGO Worlds was still a concept. But by the time it was out, LEGO Worlds was a thing and everyone was playing it. So that'll matter in the long run with a week in between, because you might, for example, have played LEGO Worlds for like 2 weeks now, and then suddenly you're hearing a podcast where we're talking about LEGO Worlds as if it's not even a thing yet. So
especially during the rapid fire Bionicle news seasons,
right?
That will be a big deal.
If that is important to you, I highly, highly recommend following us on Vessel.
Yep, and if it's not, then who cares?
If it's not, then don't bother.
Thanks for watching. No matter what you do, we'll just appreciate your viewership. We just want to make things easiest for you as possible.
Right.
Depending on your preference for our content. So, honestly, that's pretty much it.
Yep.
For Vessel.
Yeah, that's
tuned.
about all for Vessel.
Follow all our sources, and we'll be making standalone videos, probably, to announce it once it's a thing.
Yep. So, other than that, that's about all, and we can move on to the news.
Yeah, now,
Bionicle
speaking
news.
of our rapid-fire news...
So, this week we've got about 3 things. Well, 2 things. Not 3 things. Got the activity book.
Master doesn't know how to
got
count.
revealed. Yeah, sorry. And we got... The sets are actually out, if you can believe it. The sets are out. Someone found them in a Lego store in England.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? It's June!
It wasn't Viper, in case you're wondering.
It's June!
It was not me, no, unfortunately.
This is the earliest, I could be wrong. I think this is the earliest summer sets for Bionicle or Construction themes have shown up.
Yeah.
Honestly, I have never heard of sets being released like this far in advance.
We're literally not even halfway through June.
Yeah,
I mentioned it in the news video I made, but this is the earliest I can personally remember being a month and a half in advance.
Right, because the December sets, the Winter Wave, those came out in December.
They came out in January, late December.
Yeah, they started appearing in December, so that was about half a month before release date.
That's normal.
That is normal.
Are we only counting like retail, or are we talking like through other more restricted avenues?
We're not
only
talking about
counting
restricted.
retail.
Yeah, we're only counting like avenues where any typical average Joe could actually buy them.
So like New York Comic Con,
I was just thinking of like
count.
very first year 2001. I could have sworn they had the thing on the back of the Lego magazine where you could get Tau and Turaga Vakama in like May.
Well, the thing with Bionicle 2000
episode, or issue rather.
The first year Bionicle came out in 2 stages. It came out in 2000 in Europe, and then came out in 2001 in the States.
So that's a little different.
That's kind of irrelevant.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why if anyone tells you that Bionicle wasn't out for 10 years, you can always go back to that.
Yeah. But
technically, it's like 11 years now.
Pretty much.
Wasn't the concept developed a couple years before they even released it? So the actual idea of Bionicle is a lot older than 10 years.
Well, yeah, but we're not talking about that.
Yeah.
I know.
We're talking about like set release seasons. They have come out in June before, but it's always been late June. It's like been almost
I'm so stoked.
Almost beginning of July.
Right.
Yeah.
This is
and it's been like limited
June.
release via Toys R Us website, accidentally putting the sets up for purchase for like a day. This happened with Hero Factory all the time. to my knowledge, they've never been available to like just walk into a store and buy them this early.
This person literally just walked into a Lego store and bought it. Like, it was on shelves. That is insane.
And they bought them all and posted pictures
online. Do we know
online.
what kind of store it was?
It was a Lego store in...
Oh, right, it was a Lego store. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he actually gave the city as well, and the city... it's Watford.
Yeah, he posted a picture of the receipt, so we know it was legitimate.
Watford, but I think it is.
Well, I'm gonna get some flack for that.
And basically, we were trying to figure out a way for, like, Viper to go. But, probably not going to happen.
It's the end of the year for me, so I've got tons of work. I've got to get 5 assignments done on Tuesday, so I sympathise with you, Var. The work overload thing. But
wait, seriously, it's the end of the year? Merry Christmas, Viper.
No, I mean college.
School year.
School year, you moron.
Imbecile.
Happy New Year! I can't believe it. Time flies so fast.
Christmas.
But I mean, if there's any UK-based listeners out there who might be willing to help us out a little bit, we'd totally be willing to reimburse.
Yeah, totally. I mean, special mentions, you know.
I'm gonna say this right now. That new skull mask that like Grinder and Warrior have, I love that thing to death. Get it? Death.
I thought you were saying how dumb it was last episode.
This just in, ladies and gentlemen, Meso has been fired.
LJ, did you really just like reimbursement? Special mentions? A special mention as reimbursement? Come on.
What? No, I meant that to say including reimbursement.
Okay.
No, sorry. Pay for the sets, and we'll say your name.
Right? Yeah. It's just like, oh yeah, these people can go out, pay for the sets, and ship it to us, and we'll just mention their name.
No. We'd cover everything.
You give us $100 worth of plastic, and we will mispronounce your name on the internet for you.
No, that's not what I meant. Sorry.
If there are any UK-based listeners out there, we'd totally pay you.
Yep. So let's talk about these comics and the vital story details which they reveal.
You mean
don't say that.
Popping off a mask?
Yes. Yeah. But there's one other thing. I think this is confirmation. Well, I'm not going to say confirmation, because I'll get yelled at.
What?
But very probable that the masks are infected and not powered up. Because they only turn transparent when the skull villains touch them.
I'm going to be honest. I liked one of my ideas I had a while back.
What are we talking about here?
The comics on the back of the boxes, Takuma.
Oh, I haven't seen these.
Yeah, I'll link you.
Nope, I'll do it first.
Ha!
No!
Yes!
Okay.
But anyway, I had a theory a little while back saying that, like, these masks gave them alternate powers when they came in contact with them. And I think a different version of that may be okay. If you notice, when the masks are ripped off of the Toa, you see kind of fragments of their elements surrounding them, as if their powers are being taken away. Yeah. Right after these guys get a hold of the masks, more often than not, you see them running toward the Toa. Would it be too far to assume that they somehow inherit the powers through from the mask through contact?
That is an interesting question.
That is interesting.
I don't find it that far. I mean, we already established that the masks in this generation are basically just augmenting their elemental powers. They don't actually grant them additional powers, so
yeah,
I wouldn't find it that far.
It depends on what powers the skull villains already have, I suppose. If any. Which we don't know.
If any. So basically what you're saying,
it's
LJ...
all speculation at this point.
What you're saying, LJ, is if like Skull Grinder took off Tahu's mask, he could then inherit the power of fire.
Yes.
Okay.
That doesn't seem to me.
That doesn't seem that far-fetched, but I'm not sure. Maybe instead of actually giving them the power, they're like trying to soak up the power to redistribute to like Makuta or something.
Maybe, but I think they'd run away and not run toward the Toa.
Granted, this still brings up the question, why are there only 4?
Right. I mean, it's a little odd. They're a little outnumbered, but we also don't know what the numbers actually are, because remember on the box art for Skull Warrior, we saw multiple Skull Warriors.
Yeah. It's
I've said it from word go. I think they're all Horde enemies. Yeah.
So yeah, like it's hard to tell. The only one I could really like say would probably be a singular person is Skull Grinder.
Yeah.
He seems to be our de facto big bad.
Yeah.
I'm perfectly fine with that.
But with that said, now the comics are interesting. It's definitely definitely cool. The thing that I really liked about the boxes, though, just to move away from the comics a little bit, though.
These horrible boxes.
The boxes, well, they're okay.
They're still horrible.
I like the boxes.
They've grown on me quite a lot after
They're
owning them.
flimsy. Well,
But the thing that I really thought was cool was the combo models.
Oh,
They are really
yes.
cool. Okay. Let's do this. I can't really see the one made out of 3 all that
I can
well.
show you a better picture.
I see it as I'm scrolling down. It's just, the picture quality is kind of blurry or whatever, but it looks awesome. The colors seem to flow really well, and it looks very bulky and menacing. I love it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like these are really great combination models. Now, CCBS has had a few good ones. There were some really nice ones in Hero Factory, especially 2.0 Wave, that I can remember. But these are
2.0
stellar.
You want to rephrase that?
I mean, the one in between Warrior, Slicer, and Basher is okay. The model itself looks good. The color scheme is a little wonky.
I think it flows well, except for the purple.
Well, I guess so.
It flows better than the gold and the trans yellow.
No. Hold up. I'll get to that one in a second. But it's just like, I don't know. There's like purple and trans red and then trans green. It doesn't. I don't know, dude. But the model itself looks really cool. I like the way it's designed. The color scheme's a little wonky though. However, the one between Skull Grinder and Akimu and Scorpio, that looks cool.
Yes.
That does.
That looks like an actual set. Like that could have been sold as a set, and I would have bought it.
it makes me think of back to what is it, Takutanuva?
Yeah.
Yes.
You're right.
It looks
a
better
good
than
comparison.
Skull Grinder himself does. Those spikes on his back give him like an extra level of bulk to him.
Yeah, it
With
almost
the
looks like
actual
wings.
set lacks. Yeah,
I was gonna
Yeah.
say like the skeletal batwing.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I just noticed his head. The combination model, it has the Mask of Creation, but on the
Yeah.
side, it has the curved joint pieces for Scopio's legs, and then the horns from Skull Grinder.
That's awesome.
Oh no,
Wait.
you're gonna hate that in person. They stick out now at like a real weird angle.
I know I will be taking them off, but I like the use. It's pretty cool.
Wait a minute. Wait. What did you say, LJ? I don't.
He has horns.
If you look on the combination model for Skull Grinder, Skull Basher, so on and so forth.
Yes,
Wait,
yes.
not Skull Basher, Skull Grinder and whatnot. You look on his
And
head,
Scorpio,
he has the
yep.
Mask of Creation, and then he has those kind of tilted Turaga legs, the ones that he used on Scopio.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
And then
So
at
it's
the
like,
end of
it-
those,
it's like
Skull
the horns
Grinder's
for it's like the horns for Grinder except extended further out.
and then like tilted upward, yeah.
Which is
Gotcha.
basically, in practice, it's like my worst nightmare, but in concept, I like how they still gave them horns for
Right.
the Mask of Creation. I find that pretty cool.
Yeah, and it makes sense because the Mask of Creation has to fit in there. So
Yeah. I don't know, I really like it. I'm gonna be making some modifications to that, and I may just keep him like that, honestly.
I like it because honestly, it's basically Skull Grinder except with actual armor.
That's why I like it. Yeah, the upper legs, he looks like a more
Yeah.
imposing kind of dude.
Exactly. I wish Skull Grinder himself just kind of looked like that. To be honest, it's
Yeah.
Yeah, a common misconception is that Skull Grinder's like a Titan, but really I wish he was a Titan. He's no more complex than your average $15 set.
Yeah, so
I'm-
it's basically just standard Toa.
I might just have to buy duplicates of these sets just so I can make that combo model and not have to take apart the
Be
actual
careful,
sets.
Var, that's $60.
I understand the price. Money is not an issue.
Money ain't
Okay.
a thing, Meso.
If
Yeah.
I get this job, I'm hoping to. Hopefully, money won't be an issue for me either.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's what being an adult is like, man. You don't have to worry about your parents buying it for you.
Yeah, very true.
You just have to worry about your money going to bills.
Right. So, I mean, as long as you know what you're doing, you don't have to.
Skull Slicer looks pretty cool. I like how he looks in that other pose, and who am I kidding? No, I don't. He still sucks. I'm really wondering if I'm gonna turn around on that set when this dude actually unboxes these boxes.
Man, these sets have grown on me quite a lot since we first critiqued them.
Oh yeah,
They're great.
same here.
I know.
Especially
I think
Skull
they got
Warrior.
personality. Oh,
Skull
Skull
Wa-
Warrior is dynamite.
Yeah, I never minded Skull Warrior. He looks great.
He was
The other-
the one
the
I
other-
unanimously loved.
The other two, Scorpio and Slicer, they were meh when we described them. Like, I didn't like them. Now, I like them. I admit their faults, though. I can see it. And I
All
can-
of Scorpio's faults are still gonna be a thing. and be just as bad as they were going to be, but he's grown on me. Skull Slicer, I'm still not won over by him. But maybe I will be. Maybe when I actually see him in person.
I guess to me, Skull Slicer is really the only one that actually kind of conveys the skeleton look. Well, no, Warrior does too.
Skull Slicer also conveys the garbage look.
Oh my!
Slapped together out of spare parts.
That he does.
With the trans red armor that makes me want to cry.
I don't deny, but he also is the only one that really conveys the skeleton look. So I mean, I'm not that mad about it.
Okay, well, I'm not mad about it per se, but yeah, it's pretty cool that these sets are already upon us. And what this means is, if release season is being expedited, probably because of I'm not gonna say it's just because of Bionicle, because summer sets are starting to get released. It's not unheard of for these to be maybe accidentally lumped in alongside all the system. But with any luck, maybe this year we'll get another advanced leak season for 2016.
We're actually coming up on the 1 year anniversary of the original leak.
We are. We gotta throw a party. We gotta do a special live stream event.
Let's do a special celebration.
Yeah, no.
Yes, yes.
But it's gonna be pretty cool.
That was pretty rude, LJ.
That was.
Yeah, I expected you to do that.
You mock me because I like giving back to fans and celebrating special events?
Oh, wait, is that what we were talking about? I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention. Screw you, Messa. What the heck?
See what I mean? See what I mean?
But
no, I don't. Why must we always do this for every single milestone?
Because it's cool.
It's not cool, it's annoying!
This is a big deal. It's been a year since Bionicle came back, Var.
Who cares?
To me!
You're stupid!
Look, the leaks for Bionicle 2015 were a very big deal. They've catapulted us into a new wave of happiness, and they've rejuvenated the community, and we're sitting here talking about these sets, and I was just like, huh.
And I do not deny any of that.
It's almost up upon us, and I wonder what's gonna happen.
I'm just saying, we don't need to celebrate every little small occasion. Oh my god, I can just imagine you're gonna be like one of the annoying like husbands in a relationship, or like
you think he's gonna get married?
Ouch!
Ouch!
That hurts a little, Takuma.
He's gonna be like, oh my god, wife, this is like our 1-day anniversary. Let's celebrate. Let's go out to eat.
It's been a week.
Meso, yes. Do me a favor.
Okay.
When the TTV Talks About Relationships comes out, listen to it.
Okay, I plan on it, Takuma. It's gonna be interesting.
You know, I'm really excited though.
And
Regarding these sets, regarding Skull Basher specifically, I noticed this way back when. No, I didn't notice this. I talked about it on the podcast, but it was noticed by one of our staff members. And he noticed that the horns on Skull Basher are connected. Those huge purple spikes are connected to his head instead of anything else. So when you tip them up, the mask flies off. I'm so excited for when everyone gets their hand on this set, for them to just accidentally backhand it, have the mask fly off at every inconvenient moment.
Which you know will happen.
I'm sure it will happen. I pray and hope that that's not the case. I'm sure they've thought about this. I'm sure. I have to believe that they realized this and thought ahead.
There's nothing they can do to fix that.
I'm pretty confident that the weight of the horns is going to keep it down for the majority. But if you accidentally place it down in a wrong angle, or backhand it, or like try and pet him, it's not going to end well.
I didn't realize until I owned the Bionicle 2015 sets how often I would move my sets around by their head or their neck area. Like, I know most people probably pick them up by the torso, but if I want to like move a set rather than break the pose, I just kind of grab them by the head and move them over a little bit. Yeah. And now it's so inopportune. It's like, that's not a thing you can do. You'll lose the mask.
Yeah, these masks are so slippery. Like, when I was recording the Protector of Ice review, I was walking in a location, the mask just vanished. I put it in one of my pockets, boom, it's gone when I get to my destination. Thankfully, I found it again, but oh my goodness.
That panic.
Wow.
Yes. horrible.
I had that when I went to record my music video at this forest, and I was walking back and I was like, where's my SD card? Basically all the footage is on the SD card. So I ran home with and I put the tripod and the camera back, ran back to the forest and was looking for it on the ground, being like, where is it, and I was panicking. I sent a message to my friend saying, do you have my SD card? And she was like, no. And she was like, oh, God bless you, I hope you find it. And then I'm like, one more reach into my back pocket, it was in there. Like, at the bottom of my pocket.
That's crazy.
And I like almost fainted from relief. I was like, oh, I found it.
Nice. Well,
good job.
The one thing I will say about the horns and their placement, though, is that at the very least, I really, really like how the horns connect to the head, and like the mask can like form over that.
Agreed.
Yes, they did a really great job designing that.
Yeah, I think that's a really cool idea.
It could have gone another way.
I'm glad the horns aren't a part of the mask.
Agreed.
So yeah, I mean that looks really cool. With that said, that brings to light the continued confusion about whether this is actually a skull.
Okay. Here's my theory.
Game theory. Oh, okay, go on.
The skulls, quote unquote, the heads are the actual heads. These guys, their masks, there's still confusion. They can't be their actual heads, because in story, they're probably still gonna have their actual heads. These guys probably just like skulls, like me, and they just wear skull-themed decorations.
But what is a skull?
A skull is in Bionicle. Again, this all goes back. We don't know if they're biomechanical or organic yet.
I'd assume they're biomechanical.
I assume they're organic.
If they're organic, then the skulls would be their heads underneath the mask.
Not necessarily. We don't know how biology
they could be
works.
exoskeletons.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
But
exoskeletons.
Most of the time when you think of skull, you think of like, our skulls, internal skulls that non-exoskeleton animals have.
Yeah, vertebrae.
Yeah, that's it, vertebrae.
Yeah.
It's probably wrong, but we'll find out soon.
Well,
yeah, no,
we'll never find out, and
though.
they'll just leave it ambiguous forever.
Yeah, I don't think we'll ever find out about that. But,
I don't think they're ever going to get into the inner details.
They won't get into the biology of the skull warriors and the.
Yeah, I don't think so. The masks themselves can't be their actual skulls. I think the skulls are masks because the product descriptions call them masks, although I guess that could just be fluff.
They're all Pokemon.
So so they are masks. They're not skulls, but they're masks themed after
They call
skulls.
them, like, Scorpio and Bashers are bull skull masks.
What is a bull?
Bull is Bionicle.
Bull for bully.
This isn't G1, Var. There's like cow skulls littering the Pocono landscape. I'm sure there's bulls somewhere.
So they have cows and bulls then.
Evidently.
All right.
They also have needles in haystacks.
Oh man, why was that a controversy? Lewa made a reference to a needle and a haystack.
I understand that's the same controversy as like the skull thing. Like we don't know what a skull is to a Bionicle character. Did they have skulls? Would they even know what a skull is?
I'd argue that they do, considering in one of the animations we've seen an actual skeleton, bones in the wasteland, and not just mechanical-looking bones, like actual real-life bones.
Humans confirmed in Bionicle.
Right. Okay. So we just still don't know whether they're biomechanical or not.
We don't know if these guys have skulls per se, but we know that there are organisms that have a skeleton.
Okay.
Yes.
And then fine. Okay, I can concede that then.
Yeah. What if they were like skulls from these bulls, but they'd been like enchanted or something? That sounds really dumb, but it's an idea.
We don't know. They've mentioned magic so many times now.
That's what I got
there
it
has
from,
to be
like
something to
magic.
it.
They're talking about magic
Skull
a lot.
Slicer has apparently been reanimated by dark magic.
Yeah, I was going to say that the warriors themselves are actually reanimated corpses from what I've heard or what it looks like.
Maybe they're like past Toa or something.
Could be.
Maybe.
That'd be really
That's
interesting.
actually
We
a very long
don't know what
theory.
these dudes are.
Yeah. I don't know. As far as like the magic thing is concerned, to be honest, like I know people might think magic is kind of a contrived thing, but to be honest, I think magic is cooler than like energized protodermis brought them back to
which
life.
is basically magic.
It's
Which is
all
basically- yeah,
it's all the terminology.
that's all it is. Yeah, I don't like-
it's how you phrase it and how you trick your audience into thinking that it's really more complicated than it actually is. I
Right.
think Bionicle was a lot better in terms of, you know my personal preference storytelling wise, but just the theme of the line was better in the days when they didn't try to overcomplicate and over-explain every single minute detail. So it's
Agreed.
like, if they want to dial it back a little bit and have some, not necessarily go crazy in depth into those aspects and have forces at play that we may not fully comprehend, like magic, and if they want to have materials like gold instead of proto-steel or whatever, I say bring it on.
It just makes more sense.
Well,
Honestly, like I prefer having gold over like proto steel
Yeah,
and
you-
magic over energized protodermis.
Sorry.
It adds more to the.
It's
thing.
variety from what we are used to, and it's odd when it's variety to like go back to the standard stuff that's not unique to your theme. But it's like G1, we had a lot of stuff like that, and I don't mind trying something different.
You know the
for this.
properties of gold. When someone says proto-steel, all I know is that it's a very strong metal. That's it. I don't know what color it is. I don't know if it's shiny or dull.
It's silver.
Or when it...
I don't even know what proto steel is.
All I know
Fun
is
fact.
It's
what
basically
Versca's daggers are made
super
from.
hard. It's like super strong protodermis, basically.
Does it
It's
have any-
basically
It's like
bionicle
if, it's like if
adamantium.
protodermis is like the rock, protosteel is like the metal.
It's like if Aragon came out and instead of calling the species a dwarf, because, you know, a dwarf is already in other things, they called it like a silverback dwarfin or something. It's just like, come on, you
That
don't
sounds
need.
like a lizard.
Yeah, I know. It's just like
Or snake.
you don't need to come up with a name. We know it's a dwarf. Just call it a dwarf.
Yeah.
Real quickly,
Also, holy crud, Aragon? Where'd that come from?
I don't know. I'm just thinking of something that might use an asset that was made before. It's just like
What's up, LJ?
because these kind of things might like come up with like stupid terminology that isn't needed, especially with like lore that takes place in Fantasyland.
Yeah.
And that is truly the Bionicle conundrum.
yeah.
But anyway, what's up, LJ?
Switching gears real quickly, back to these guys' origins. A long-running theory is that these guys are prior Toa. I know a theory is that they're actually the original versions of the Toa Mata we're currently dealing with right now, and the Toa Mata have traveled back in time to kind of correct the mistakes of their past selves. However,
Yeah, I'm really sure that Skull Scorpio is a past
yes,
version of
yes.
Kohaku
I know.
slash S.
yes, okay.
If that was the case,
Not to
then
like
what's
bash
Akimu
on the
doing
person
there?
that has that theory.
I think that a theory that makes a lot more sense is that, Var, in your recent autopsy, you said that there were two cataclysmic events.
Cataclysm.
One that happened that drove them out, and then the recent one with the skull spiders.
Yes.
I think a theory that would make sense, because this happened over the course of 1,000 or so years. It says that we hear that 1,000 years or whatnot. I think a theory that makes a lot of sense is that these guys were the old guardians of this land. Maybe the Skull Scorpio was like a creature they tamed in order to kind of guard the city. And they were actually the original guardians, and they were a
From
very
what?
few number. And
From what? From what?
The ancient city. They're just maybe
I know. Guarding from what?
fudge, just like natural.
There was
beasts.
peace. There was peace, though.
Yes, maybe
They
just
specified that there was peace, so why would there? What would they need to guard from?
lions, tigers, bears. Oh my! You know, just
So far, we've seen no sign. So far, we've seen no sign of wildlife aside from skeletons.
which kind of suggests wildlife.
Right, but you'd think that they would have to deal with being attacked.
All right.
Now, if they're not in the ancient city and out in, you know, these small little villages located throughout the regions of Okoto, that animal attacks would be a normal thing. Then how are they able to protect themselves before the Toa are summoned?
I'm not sure what they were supposed to protect themselves from. That's not what I'm saying. For the sake of the argument, there were guardians. They guarded against something.
I know, and that's just what I'm saying. Like, what if there are Guardians? What were they guarding from? And why didn't they need the Guardians after the Guardians were defeated?
I don't know.
Well, you see, the Guardians are guarding like Forerunner things, and they're attacking.
Oh my gosh, Meso.
Humans.
Bottom line, they were
aliens,
Guardians, and they wore tribal masks that were carved from skulls of beasts they defeated.
I'll bite. Everybody needs Guardians, even when there's peace.
Yeah,
but
like
once the Guardians were dead, they still needed Guardians, didn't they?
Well, yeah.
I think it would make a lot more sense if instead of Guardians, these were just like warriors, like combatants, like the Glatorian.
Are you not entertained?
I mean, that makes more sense to me, and that would also describe why they've got like these skull-themed, stuff on, like armor on.
Skull
That's
Slicer's
fine.
description does mention an arena.
Right.
What?
So I
Really?
think it would make more sense that.
It does.
Yeah, I think it would make more sense if these were ancient combatants or warriors that fought each other for entertainment.
Yeah, no,
Other
that's great. Yeah.
I'll go pull the description.
Guardians doesn't make any sense because after they were defeated, there are no more Guardians.
Well, I didn't really give a lot of thought to the whole what they did. Just that I kind of wanted to make the point being that their masks were ceremonial and not really their faces. They have skulls, and then they have masks carved from skulls.
Right. Okay, that makes sense.
Possible. Yeah, that doesn't seem far-fetched at all.
Yeah.
Okay,
I don't think
Skull
that seems
Slicer's
far-fetched either.
description. Least interesting set, most interesting description. Patrol the ruins of the ancient arena with the menacing Skull Slicer, an ancient champion animated by the dark magic of the Skull Spider mask.
So ancient champion in the arena.
That description says a wealth of things.
Yeah, that honestly, that kind of adds to this whole idea that these are warriors.
Yeah.
Champions,
no, that makes a lot of sense.
warriors, fought in arenas, animated by the Skull Spider mask, which has dark magic.
Well, it makes sense to resurrect warriors. I mean, you're not going to resurrect a farmer to fight for you, are you?
Hey, farmers are really resilient.
Farmers.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you had the choice for warriors or farmers, who are you more likely to choose?
American Revolution, a lot of those farmers, or a lot of those, farmers.
Well, I put my faith more British into warriors than farmers. Farmers need to grow food for everybody. Okay.
They need to plant some seeds.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Meso!
The Skull Basher is a guardian.
Deny
His
that
description
farmers
says
can
he
defend
stands
themselves.
guard.
Of course they can, but if who are you going to choose to fight, soldiers or farmers?
Listen.
I mean, it depends on what your purpose of resurrection is. If you're going to be resurrecting an entire army of dead people, I don't think you're really going to care who's in it.
Yeah, stop being farmerist, Viper.
Hey,
LJ.
I appreciate farmers.
Shush.
But no,
I want them to go off and fight and die, and then we have no food.
Well, they're already dead.
Okay, you got me there.
But no, okay. So I'm digging this theory. I really like this idea that they're
Skull
combatants.
Basher seems to be a guardian of some sort. It says he stands guard at the gate to the Temple
he's
of
a
Creation.
guardian now.
Yeah, now his purpose is guarding. But was that his purpose originally?
Maybe. He seems like a guardian type. He's like the bouncer.
What is a guardian type?
He's like the bouncer at like the gate.
Bouncer.
Temple of Creation.
The Toa tried to get into the party. He's like, nope, no room. Golly just steps.
VIP Skull Spiders only.
Golly just steps to the front. And he's like, you may proceed. Tahu's just like, what the heck, man?
Yeah, Leela throws his arms up in the air and walks off.
Nice.
Golly has a fun time.
Then, like,
do this.
Bahatu
Make
tries
this
to
a comic.
run past him.
Yeah.
He, like, starts a fight
This is
with him,
great.
and he just picks him up by the scruff and just throws him.
The scruff. Now Pahatu's
This
a cat.
sounds like a funny comic waiting to happen.
Like,
But no.
and then Skull Spider's
basically
in the
it.
back with everybody, just, like, got his arms over the leather seats, like, yeah.
Yeah, Lost is sitting on a couch with like two of his legs behind
Two Skull Spiders standing beside him.
Actually, no, I don't think Lost would be there. He'd be out, like, in the rain.
Aw.
Alone.
Like, he's like,
But we need a happy
he's like that,
ending.
like, weird painting where it's, like, standing next to a human. Like, the Skull Spider at the
Ouch.
bus stop.
Why can't Lost catch a break, okay?
Yeah, he did, when he fell.
I
Aww.
guess the cliff did break.
Lols. But no,
Anyway, no. That's
I
it.
have to wonder what species these things are. They're clearly not the same as the Protectors.
And I don't think they're the same as Toa. They don't look they don't all have the same body build. One of them has 4 arms.
They don't. But at the same time, they're also dead and reanimated, so we don't really know. Like, they probably looked very different when they were actually alive.
Yeah, there's actually
they were less
a good
corroded.
possibility Skull Slicer didn't have those 2 arms.
Yeah, he probably just
they're
put
just
them...
like from another.
Yeah,
they're from another Skull Slicer buddy.
His dead enemies.
Right. And that makes sense, because, like, if they're dead and they've decomposed, then their limbs have probably started falling off and stuff, so that also kind of helps explain, like, the Skull Scorpio set. Like, maybe he was a real person, and then he was kind of brought back as this kind of abomination of limbs thrown
poor
together.
Skull Scorpio.
Alternatively, what I think, in 2009, when they were doing the whole Glatorian arena thing, they had different sections. It was like Glatorian and Agori versus Glatorian and Agori, Glatorian versus Glatorian, Agori versus Agori, and in vehicle combat. What if Skull Scorpio was like a steed you rode into battle?
Possible. He seems kind of small, but possible.
I could see that, because
I guess it depends on how sentient these things are, or how sentient they used to be, at least.
I guess we'll find out in the animations.
Yeah,
Quite
or
right.
the animations or the book.
I am
or the
looking
book.
forward to this book. I want to know once and for all, will this be good?
Yeah, if Kahi were here, though, he'd be like, I'm not gonna read it.
And speaking of books, there's one thing I want to say. There's one other piece of news.
Only one thing?
I gotta mention. Only one thing. Not 2. So we have the activity book got revealed. Bionicle activity book. And the exclusive mask that's in it is not in fact a cow, but it is in fact the gold protector mask from Akimu.
It's not even exclusive!
It's not even exclusive.
Really disappointing.
I'm not saying that I knew that, but I totally knew that.
It's funny how you supposedly knew
Slash
that
gloat.
and never mentioned that until now.
I totally knew that. We had a big argument about it. That was the night that you were giving me a hard time about the cow being trans blue. I was like, there's no way they're gonna do a cow in this activity book. It's probably gonna be something stupid. And you were like, no, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be the cow.
Okay, I did say I was pretty sure it was going to be the cow, but my argument was that you can't say whether it's not or isn't until it's actually presented to
I
us.
can say with absolute
No.
certainty.
You
Because
You
it was an
can't
exclusive.
say anything with absolute certainty!
It was
Here's
an
what
Inside
happened.
Tour exclusive.
Here's actually what happened. You guys were arguing over the color of the cow.
No,
Messer,
yeah,
you said with
that is true.
certainty. It was one color. Var was saying, don't say it with certainty until you have it in your hands. And then Var and I agreed it was very likely going to be a cow variant. You, Meso, believed it would have been a skull spider mask.
I did, but I never said with certainty.
You did not say, nobody said it was going to be a protector mask.
I also was right about the color.
That's it. Kill him. Kill him now.
Mauricio's coming back.
No, what you were trying to subvert the fact that you were wrong by saying it was a skull spider mask. You were just as incorrect as us. It wasn't a skull spider mask. It was a protector mask.
I said that it wasn't going to be a cow.
That's not. What
I
you said,
don't
though.
recall seriously saying it was a skull spider mask.
I
I claim
do.
hearsay.
We're going to go back to that episode, and we are going to...
Yeah, it wasn't even recorded. That's the thing.
Yeah, it wasn't
Right,
recorded.
no,
It was
no,
like
no,
it was
this-
literally a 3 a.m.
We had a debate about this on an episode at one point.
We did, but we did have a debate about the mask, but it was a much shorter endeavor.
Yeah,
and it wasn't.
It's not what we're talking about now, though.
Okay,
A lot of the details you presenting, like the color, for example, that we argued, that was not on recording.
Oh, okay, yeah, because I do remember that, but alright, I guess it wasn't.
I just wanted to have my 2 minutes of jerkish gloating. You may proceed.
But you're still not right.
Yes, I am.
Oh my gosh. Regardless.
Continue on. I'm just disappointed that Golly's getting the short end of the stick again. It's like her mask is a hot commodity with like inside tour, whatever that is, but nobody else is probably ever going to get to see it.
I'm gonna look on eBay and see if they have it.
See, I'm still not convinced about that. Because that's what we all thought with the clear Konoe How, but that came out and like waves and waves, so I mean, you never know.
I suppose, yeah, you could do another polybag. That'd be cool.
Yeah, exactly. So it's I don't know. It's just Lego's policy towards keeping things exclusive doesn't really seem to be as reliable as one might think.
Lego's policy with just doing things doesn't seem reliable. Everything leaks.
Ouch.
It's the cold, hard truth.
Also, it's not on eBay yet.
Interesting. Yeah, I know. A very limited number of people probably went on that inside tour. I heavily doubt they even got rid of the 200 which they made.
No, yeah, I don't think so. I'm sure that there's only like 3 people have that mask.
Hey, Lego, if you're listening, we'll take them. Take them off your hands. If they're taking up space, no problem.
Yep, just ship them on over. We'll pay for shipping.
Yeah, we'll give them away too. We'll give them as gifts. Hey, you want a blue cow? Yeah, okay, here you go. You want one? Too bad. You want one? All right, here you go.
I don't like the way your face looks, so no.
Ouch.
I don't know if that was directed toward random individual on the street.
Yeah, it was directed towards random individual.
I'm not sure if anybody's translated the description for this book yet. But if they have, post up in the description the activity book.
Oh.
Because I'm curious to see what it actually is going to be about and what it has inside.
Oh yeah, because the description was kind of in like a other format.
It frustrates
me. Kind of in another language. Why does it frustrate you?
Because it's not the cow. That's why it frustrates me. It's just a mask we can already get.
Lego exclusives very rarely tend to be anything of worth. They're usually minifigures, which, while rare, are not exactly exclusive to the book which they're being given away. So like this, it counts as being a rare mask because it's available in one set, and it's like the main guy. But it's also not an exclusive. It's just one of those things that they sometimes do.
However, they do give away exclusive minifigures in other forms of media, specifically Lord of the Rings trilogy bundles.
Fair enough.
So, it's not unheard of.
Oh, well.
Bionicle gets no fame and glory.
Regardless, Bionicle, yay.
Bionicle, yay. It's a good thing.
Yeah.
So, honestly speaking, that's pretty much it.
How dishonest.
It is. We could talk about other stuff, but we'd be reaching, and we're like at 55 minutes.
Yeah, let's end.
So, yeah, okay. Thank you all for watching this episode of the TTV Podcast, filled with Bionicle 2015 news, discussion, commentary, and hype. Post up your thoughts below in the summer sets, and, we're nearing that season. It seems a little early, but after today, nothing's, certain anymore. So if you see the sets in any LEGO stores near you, please post up. And I guess you can start checking your Toys R Us and local LEGO stores. Keep watch online, and
don't go into it expecting to find anything though.
No, but keep your eyes open because who knows what you may find. This is unprecedented.
Yeah.
So let us know, and maybe we'll have another crazy hunt. Maybe we'll have the Target set finder. We'll come back again.
And hey, we're totally open to that reimbursement, if you know what I'm saying.
If you ever want to send us anything for purposes of review, feel free. We'll hit you up.
We'll yuck you up.
Oh my goodness. Okay, yeah, we're done here.
Yeah.
Make sure to remember that the next episode of the TTP podcast will be on Vessel. So if you want to stay up to news and it's Monday and you're like, where's the TTP podcast? It's because it's on Vessel.
Yep. Follow our Twitter at the Three Virtues, TTP message boards, and stay tuned for we're going to be drilling Vessel into everybody's heads pretty soon. So stay tuned. It's going to be exciting times, and we will see you all next week for another exciting episode. I'm Messinek.
I'm Broderin.
I'm LJ.
I'm Viper.
I'm Tika Manuva.
And this was TTV 148. Thank you for listening, and goodbye.
You guys were really quiet that last 20 minutes.
Yeah, what the heck, Viper? What the heck,
I'm
Takuma?
sorry. Yeah.
We're slashing your pay.
Were you not paying?
Goodbye.
See ya.
Adios.